Hi guys, in this video we are going to discuss about the result of Asian Paint and Berger Paint, and then we are going to compare how those two companies has performed in terms of recently quarterly result. If you have Asian Paint and Berger Paint, both paints in your portfolio, it is a must watch video for you. Before we start, let us give you a disclaimer that we own Asian Paint in our portfolio, just not Asian Paint. If you want to know what all stock that we have in our portfolio, you can check the link in the description box. We share our portfolio and we give you update about our portfolio every single month. Without wasting any time, let us start. Guys, here you get to see the result of Berger Paint and Asian Paint. Now, if we compare the revenue of Berger Paint in this quarter, this is quarter 3 in financial year 2022. In this quarter, if we see the revenue of Berger Paint, we get to see it is 2566 crores, and for Asian Paint, it is 7,595 crores. So just comparing the revenue, you can understand the revenue of Asian Paint is almost 3 times bigger than Berger Paint. You can understand the sheer volume of Asian Paint as compared to the Berger Paint. Now let us focus on the quarterly result. First, we will compare year-to-year basis. That means this is quarter number 3, financial year 2022, and the same quarter previous financial year, which is quarter 3, financial year 2021. If we compare the revenue of this 2 quarters, we get to see the year-on-year growth of Berger Paint is around 20%. Now for the same period, if we check the expenses, we get to see the expenses has gone up by 26%. Since the revenue has gone up by 20% and the expenses has gone up by 26%, obviously there would be little bit of fall in the PAT. PAT is nothing but the profit. We see 15% drop in the profit for Berger Paint on year-on-year basis. Now the same number we will see for Asian Paint. Year-on-year basis, Asian Paint's revenue has gone up by 27%. Now, this number, the growth number for Berger Paint is 20%, and for Asian Paint, the revenue growth is 27%. So you can understand, even though Asian Paint's revenue is almost 3 times more than Berger Paint, in year-on-year basis, it's higher for Asian Paint. Moving to the expenses, we get to see 41% increase in the expenses for Asian Paint. Obviously, on the expense side, we see Berger Paint expenses increase is much lower than Asian Paint. Because of that, profit of Asian Paint is down by almost 23%. Profit, if you see for Berger Paint, it was down by 15% on year-on-year basis. For Asian Paint, it is down by 23%. Now that is year-on-year basis. Guys, you already know for Asian Paint and Berger Paint, both of these companies' raw material are depending on crude price, and there are a lot of expenses which is up for the inflationary pressure. Now if we just take a look on quarter to quarter basis, that means this is quarter number 3 financial year 2022. If we just look a quarter back, which is quarter number 2 financial year 2022, the growth in Berger Paint's revenue was almost 15%. For Asian Paint, their revenue is increased by 20%. So you can understand the growth in the revenue for Asian Paint is higher than Berger Paint, both in quarter to quarter basis and also in year-on-year basis. If we check the expenses for both these companies, we get to see it has almost increased at the same level. For Berger Paint, the expenses is up by 15%, and for Asian Paint, it is up by 14%. But if we see the profit for Asian Paint and Berger Paint on quarter to quarter basis, we get to see for Berger Paint, the profit has gone up by 9%, and for Asian Paint, it has gone up by almost 57%. Asian Paint profit has gone up much higher than Berger Paint. So that means something. So if we try to explain this result, you can think this way. Asian Paint's revenue has gone up more than Berger Paint, and the expenses has gone up almost at the same level. So quarter on quarter profit for Asian Paint is mostly driven by their higher revenue growth than Berger Paint. So remember the number that we said initially, that the revenue of Asian Paint is 3 times higher than Berger Paint. Even though the size of Asian Paint is a lot bigger than Berger Paint, you can still see the revenue growth is happening much faster than Berger Paint. So that means Asian Paint is currently focusing on growing the revenue. Since the expenses of Berger Paint and Asian Paint has gone up on the quarter on quarter basis at the same level, more profit was earned by Asian Paint. So at the current juncture, it appears that Asian Paint is growing faster than Berger Paint and also able to keep good profit. So guys, as we said earlier, we already own Asian Paint, so our view could be biased. Hope this short video was helpful. That's all for today. We'll catch you up with the next video very soon. Until then, take care. Bye.